Welcome to the Climate Countdown. How close are we to a tipping point we can't reverse? In this video, we delve into the critical state of our planet's climate, exploring the alarming signs and consequences of environmental change. From the rapid melting of the Greenland and West Antarctic ice sheets to the devastating impacts of permafrost thawing and coral reef bleaching, we'll examine the interconnected systems at risk. Join us as we analyze these tipping points and their potential to reshape our world forever. 1. Arctic ice loss. The Arctic region is experiencing warming at a rate nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. As the sea ice diminishes, less sunlight is reflected back into space, which in turn accelerates global warming. This phenomenon, known as the albedo effect, creates a vicious cycle that amplifies climate change. The loss of ice also impacts local wildlife, threatening species like polar bears and seals. Moreover, the melting ice contributes to rising sea levels, posing a threat to coastal communities worldwide. Scientists warn that if this trend continues, the Arctic could become ice-free during summer months, further exacerbating global warming. 2. Greenland ice sheet meltdown. The Greenland ice sheet holds enough water to raise global sea levels by over 7 meters, 23 feet, if it were to melt completely. Already, scientists observe significant ice loss, particularly in the southern regions. This melting process is contributing to the rise in sea levels, threatening coastal cities around the globe. Some experts believe that parts of the Greenland ice sheet have already reached a point where its melting cannot be reversed. The continued melting of this massive ice sheet could have devastating impacts, including the displacement of millions of people living in low-lying areas. 3. West Antarctic ice sheet collapse. One of the most concerning ice masses is the Thwaites Glacier, often referred to as the Doomsday Glacier. It is melting at an alarming rate, and if it collapses, it could trigger the destabilization of the entire West Antarctic ice sheet. This would result in a catastrophic rise in sea levels, with devastating consequences for coastal regions. Scientists are closely monitoring this glacier as it represents a significant tipping point in climate change. The potential collapse of the West Antarctic ice sheet underscores the urgent need for global action to mitigate climate change and protect vulnerable areas. 4. Amazon rainforest dieback. The Amazon rainforest plays a crucial role in absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. However, deforestation and rising temperatures are pushing it toward a tipping point where it could transition into a savanna-like ecosystem. This shift would result in the forest releasing carbon instead of storing it, exacerbating global warming. The loss of the Amazon would also lead to the extinction of countless species and disrupt weather patterns across the globe. Protecting this vital ecosystem is essential to combating climate change and preserving biodiversity. 5. Permafrost thawing. Arctic permafrost contains vast amounts of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. As global temperatures rise, the permafrost is melting, releasing methane into the atmosphere. This creates a dangerous feedback loop, as increased methane levels contribute to further warming. The thawing of permafrost also threatens infrastructure in Arctic regions, as the ground becomes unstable. Scientists are concerned that continued melting could release enough methane to significantly accelerate climate change, underscoring the importance of limiting global warming. 6. Atlantic Ocean currents disruption. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, AMOC, which includes the Gulf Stream, plays a crucial role in regulating the Earth's climate. However, it is weakening due to freshwater from melting ice sheets. If the AMOC collapses, it could lead to extreme weather events, disrupted food supplies, and severe winters in Europe. This potential tipping point highlights the interconnectedness of global climate systems and the need for coordinated efforts to address climate change. Preserving the integrity of ocean currents is essential to maintaining climate stability. 7. Coral reef bleaching. Coral reefs are under threat from rising ocean temperatures and acidification. If global temperatures increase beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, nearly all coral reefs could disappear. This would have devastating effects on marine ecosystems, as coral reefs provide habitat and food for countless species. The loss of coral reefs would also impact human communities that rely on them for food, tourism, and coastal protection. Protecting coral reefs is critical to preserving marine biodiversity and supporting sustainable livelihoods. 8. Disruptions to monsoon systems. Changes in monsoon patterns in Africa and Asia pose significant risks to food and water security for billions of people. Unpredictable monsoons can lead to droughts or floods, increasing the risk of famine and climate-driven migration. These disruptions highlight the vulnerability of human societies to climate change and the urgent need for adaptive strategies. Ensuring food and water security in monsoon-dependent regions is crucial to mitigating the impacts of climate change and preventing humanitarian crises. 9. Boreal forest dieback. Boreal forests, which store massive amounts of carbon, are facing increased threats from wildfires and insect infestations. The destruction of these forests would release even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, exacerbating climate change. Boreal forests also provide habitat for diverse species and play a vital role in the global carbon cycle. Protecting these forests is essential to combating climate change and preserving biodiversity. Strategies to manage wildfires and pests are critical to ensuring the resilience of boreal ecosystems. 10. Oxygen loss in oceans. Warmer oceans are losing oxygen, leading to the creation of dead zones where marine life cannot survive. This threatens global fisheries and disrupts the ocean's role in absorbing carbon. Oxygen loss in oceans is a growing concern, as it impacts marine biodiversity and food security. Addressing this issue requires reducing greenhouse gas emissions and protecting marine ecosystems. Ensuring healthy oceans is essential to maintaining global climate stability and supporting sustainable fisheries. Many of these tipping points are interconnected, meaning one could trigger another, pushing the planet into a climate emergency beyond human control. While some scientists believe we still have a small window to act, urgent global action is needed to cut emissions, transition to renewable energy, and protect natural ecosystems before it's too late. The countdown is ticking. Will we act in time?